Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from somewhere in New Zealand, it's the YouTube show with Dave Benson.
Thank you. Welcome on. Man, it's so good to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pressing that button. Please hit the subscribe, like, follow, whatever other buttons you get down there. Please hit them. It means the world to us. And if you can, leave some comments. That is amazing. Welcome back to the YouTube show. Sorry. Hold on. It's not the YouTube show with Dave Benson anymore. That's right. We've had a little rebrand. The name has changed. We are no longer the YouTube show with Dave Benson. Say hello to the all-new, wait for it, all bold, we're getting there, slightly more legal, the Dave Benson Show. Now, why the switch? Well, I received a very polite, very official email from the amazing folks over at YouTube. And when I say amazing, I mean legally persuasive. Here's what they had to say. Although we sincerely appreciate you reaching out to us, we are unable to approve the use of YouTube branding in this way. Your proposed use of the YouTube logo, as well as the term YouTube in the name of the channel, would undoubtedly cause consumer confusion as to whether your channel and or related services are sponsored or affiliated with YouTube. To that extent, we have already begun such use. We kindly ask that you discontinue it as soon as possible. Yours sincerely, the YouTube brand permissions. So after drying my eyes and Googling rebrand crisis in under 24 hours, I did what any self-respecting creator would do when faced with a branding dilemma. I rebranded faster than a crypto coin in a lawsuit. And now I'm proud to announce that the new #1 independent talk show on the planet is the Dave Benson Show. But don't worry, the mission hasn't changed. This is still the place where we shine a spotlight on the creators, storytellers, actors, artists, and outstanding legends that make movies, film, and internet what it is. Chaotic, creative, and occasionally demonetized. That's what we are. Let's get rid of this. Right. Comments. You said it, I read it. We do have our first comment this week, and this one's from AJ. Your past videos are certainly unique. Kind of a blend of Bill Burr and Seth Meyers. Now that is quite the combo. I didn't see it coming. Bill Burr, angry, sharp, brutally honest. Seth Meyers, smart, political, and always wearing a suit that fits. Me, well, I'm just over here trying not to trip over my own punchlines. But thank you, AJ. Honestly, if the show ends up somewhere between Bill Burr's rage and Seth Meyers' intellect, well, then we're doing something right. Or at least we're yelling smart things in the right direction. Keep the comments coming, unless you're a bot. In which case, I'm not buying crypto today. Let's dive into the news. Matt Pat, former host of Game Theory, has officially helped launch the Bipartisan Creator Economy Caucus in the US Congress to support digital creators through fair legislation. Matt Pat went from game theories to government policy, proving once and for all that if you can survive YouTubers' comments, you're qualified to survive Congress. Next, Dr. Disrespect is back. Well, sort of. And after being banned from Twitch and demonetized on YouTube, Dr. Disrespect's YouTube partner program was reinstated this week. He can now earn revenue again, minus the mustache drama. So he's back on the platform, back on the money, and still looking like someone who sells bootleg sunglasses at a Monster Truck rally. Wonderful. And this one's crazy, really crazy. The beloved influencer dog, Maxine the Corgi, just signed with new content studio Unicorn, and they raised $900,000 to help creators turn their channels into franchises. Yes, a Corgi got a studio deal before most actors I know. Somewhere in Hollywood, there's a screenwriter who's crying into a bowl of kibble right now. Storm chaser YouTuber Ryan Hall Yawl is now so fast at live tracking tornadoes that he's beating alerts from National Weather Service. His streams are actually saving lives, powered by fans, radar, and a little chaos. He's basically the Batman of bad weather. No cape, just Wi-Fi, caffeine, and a terrifyingly calm voice yelling, "Rotation!" while 200,000 people watch from their basements. And finally, YouTube's Premium Lite plan, originally sold as a cheaper ad-free option, is now testing ads in Shorts, Music, and even Search. The update rolls out on June 30th. So now, for $7.99 a month, you get ads. It's like paying to skip the queue just to stand in a different queue with more ads, well, less dignity. On today's show, we've got two absolute behemoths joining us. First up, she is an internet sensation, a powerhouse advocate, and a total original with over 100,000 subscribers, hanging on to her every word. It's the brilliantly bold and beautifully unstoppable Jen Hardy. And if that wasn't enough pop power for one episode, our second guest is no stranger to the spotlight. She was 1/5 of the girl group Boys World, and now she's lighting up the solo scene. She's our featured music guest today with a brand new single to show you. It's the sensational Makhyli. Two icons, one show, zero chance of anyone skipping this one. Let's roll the titles.
I said I wanna see the Dave Benson show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go. I said I wanna see the Dave Benson show, and I can't stop and never gonna let it go.
Okay, so usually I don't have a big intro for every guest that comes onto this show. I cut it down, I work it through, I make sure that it's tailored and fit for purpose. But I can't do this with this one. There's no chance. My next guest is such an inspiration that she deserves everything I'm about to read. She is amazing. Let's do it. My next guest is a woman who defines resilience, creativity, and reinvention. She's a mother of 7, a media entrepreneur, a best-selling author, and the voice behind not one, but 2 award-winning shows, the Fabulous Over 50 podcast and the Jen Hardy Show. Now that's racked up over 3 million views on YouTube in less than a year. But this journey didn't start with success. It started with survival. In 2018, she was given just a year to live after being diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. From hospital stays to wheelchairs to homeschooling her children and building a media empire, she's proven that diagnosis is not destiny. Through Hardy House Media, she's championed creators and entrepreneurs, particularly women over 50, giving a voice to stories that often go unheard. She's also the founder of the 50 Over 50 Podcast Awards, celebrating powerful women in the podcasting space. She lives on Barrier Island in Florida with her husband and producer, Dave, where she continues to inspire millions with humor, wisdom, and a little bit of sass. Please welcome to the show, the incredible Jen Hardy.
Wow. You know, when you read it out loud, it just seems like a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, that was loud. And thank you for that incredible introduction. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. Can I tell you? It has been a whirlwind.
Oh my gosh. Honest, I'm just going to sit here in admiration, Jen, because
Oh, goodness, no.
your story is phenomenal. And I can't even imagine how you got from where you were to where you are. It's just a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Well, you know, I think the lesson is just get up and do something. That's the lesson, right? My son was going to have a podcast. I didn't even know what a podcast was. He stopped doing it. I paid him $100 for his microphone, hooked it up to my hospital table next to my bed because I couldn't even get out of bed. And that was the beginning. So no matter where you are, this is what I try to tell people. It doesn't matter where you are, right? You can do something.
But you started. So if we go back, let's go back before the kids, all 7 of them. If we go back, you were an AT&T operator, you were selling insurance, you were working in finance, you were serving as an emergency medical technician. Did you ever think, without the illness, that this was your career path and what you wanted to do?
So first of all, kudos to you because no one has done all that research. That's incredible. I have done all those things. And to be quite honest, so I grew up in LA, right? So in the tickling in the back of my head, I did theater in LA, and I thought one day I want to be on this stage. And to be honest, when my oldest son, who is now 29, was a baby, I was in this stadium where there was, 50,000 people. And I said, one day I want to be there on that stage. But then lost that, figured it was never going to happen. And apparently it is.
And 7 children. Wow.
7.
That's just incredible.
You want to hear something? You want to just, I will just blow that out of the water. I have 7
Yep.
children that I have had in 4 different decades that span 3 generations. Yes.
Wow.
80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. And I've got a Gen Alpha, some Gen X, Gen Zs, and some millennials. Isn't that
Do they all
nuts?
get on?
No, absolutely not.
Are they all super proud of you?
Absolutely not.
All
The older ones think that this is just nuts. They're like, "Mom, come on, what is this?" You know? And I think now the play button, I think that, that is making some people realize that I'm working hard and doing a job and not just being ridiculous, you know? The younger ones are like, "I can't believe you have a Discord. How is this happening?" Yeah, but, they're warming up to it.
So we've had a couple of kids. We've been working in different careers. It's 2014, and the doctors suddenly give you 1 year to live. Now, tell me about that day. Like when you found that out, that must have just been, I can't even imagine.
Right. So, okay. So I have to correct you a little bit. So I got really sick in 2014. I got the diagnosis or the prognosis in 2018. But in 2014, I spent 6 different week-long stays in hospital and had 20-day-long IV infusions. So, I mean, it was nuts. And I had a 2 and a 4-year-old and 5 teenagers. Can you imagine? And I couldn't get out of bed. I was in a wheelchair, could not walk. It was a lot. And then it just kind of got progressively worse. And then in 2018, that day it was all full because within a couple of days, I went to my family practice doctor who said, we're just going to give you some pain medicine, make you comfortable. And then I went to my pulmonologist and she said, because my diaphragm, that muscle that keeps you breathing was working at
Yep.
20%. Okay. And this is a progressive disease. It doesn't get better. And she said, eventually you're going to need to we're going to give you a trach, that hole in your neck where you talk, like the
Yeah.
cigarette commercial people. And if you're living with that, God help you. I don't make fun. It's a thing. And then she said, you'll just have a backpack and it'll breathe for you and you'll be fine. I've got people that go skiing with that. And I'm thinking, no. I've got children at home. I cannot live with that, And so really, it had been a struggle. It had been a struggle. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to go, I'm going to have my children, my younger children, my older kids are they're all on their own doing their thing and being successful, thank God. And I thought, I'm going to move them somewhere that makes them happy. Let's live on an island that if I'm gone, they're not going to care. They've got the beach, they've got whatever. I mean, they care, but you know what I mean? And turns out moving here was incredibly good for me too, because I'm still here.
How were your kids because you must have been given that, I mean, at that time, moving to an island, but you've been given a year to live. That must have been for your family to say. I know we say you moved to an island and it was great for them, but that must have been so hard for them to be like, I'm going to lose my mother.
So I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my husband. I didn't tell anyone.
Wow. You just said we're going to move to the island.
I just said, we're going to go. Yep. My husband and I came to Florida. We came on a vacation, the first one we'd have ever had for our 10th anniversary. And he said, we need to save money to come back here next year. And I said, no. We're going to save money to move here next year. And within 11 months, we lived here. And but I didn't tell anyone. I just kept it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeepers, that must have been hard for you to keep bottled up, knowing
Well, I mean, in 2014, you weren't wrong. I mean, I needed a major surgery. They didn't think I'd live through that. I did live through that. And then I just kept going like the Energizer Bunny. And so they knew it was touch and go back then. But they never realized. In fact, it wasn't until I just made this video talking about it and my kids saw it that they found out. But that's what I had been told. Yeah. But I've outlived it, so it's okay.
You did. You've gone from you went from wheelchair, walker, cane, and now you're not using anything.
I'm not using anything. No, in fact, no. When we moved here in 2019, I was using alternately a cane and a walker. And then I just went to see my daughter in Germany last month, and she wanted to take me to a football game, and she said, well, I wanted to go to the football game. She said, no, you can't go. You have to walk uphill a mile. And I said, no, I'm going to go. And she said, Mom, you don't understand. You have to walk uphill a mile. And I did it. Dave, I did it. I did
Good
not
on
bring a
you.
cane. I didn't do anything. I mean, we took a couple breaks, but I walked uphill. We went to the game. I walked downhill, and I did it. I think because I wanted her to know, things that I think COVID messed up some relationships. Can I just say, it messed up some things in people's head, and all of us, I think, got a little during that, and our relationship was kind of funky. And I said, no, whatever you do that you like to do, I want to do that thing and get to know you better. And so I did.
Do you think it is that's made you get better? Like, I know you moved to the island and that's a different lifestyle, but what is it that suddenly, I know you've got drive and I'm guessing that that's a huge part of it, but what is it that's changed?
So honestly, my muscles are not any better. In fact, they're progressively getting worse. So it is, I don't know. Honestly, at this point, it's just a sheer miracle because in 2018, my orthopedist said I should be strapped in a wheelchair. I shouldn't even be able to sit in a chair, let alone stand up. So this is just at this point sheer willpower. At some point, Dave, I think it will run out. But for today, it's here, which is why I do so many things. If I want to do something, I do it. Right. And I do it quickly. And like my awards, right? We decided we wanted to have the 50 over 50 awards in January. We had nominations in February. We held it in March. Because, we don't know. You don't know.
But that just shows you how people can actually get things done, let alone having a clock ticking for them. But put your mind to it and just put dates and let's do it.
Let's just do it. Exactly. Let's just get it done. And it drives me crazy. People say, oh, I've been wanting to do this thing for a couple of years. No, but if you wanted to do it, wouldn't you do it though? Just do it. I have to say, I am a recovering perfectionist. And so my new mantra is done is the new perfect. So for those listening or watching who think, well, I can't do it because it's not right. It's never going to be right. You just have to do things. I think that's
totally
part
agree.
of the secret right there is to accept imperfection.
Out of the flame rises the phoenix, right? That's, you've took it from that and you've risen from that and other people can too.
They can. Absolutely, they can. I don't think I'm special. I think I just do. I think that's the only difference. Yeah.
I think you're very special. I disagree. I think you've got such a mindset that has helped you to achieve. A lot of people go down a different avenue when these things hit them and it's hard and they break down and possibly their mental health suffers. You seem to have gone in a different way and got stronger throughout the process. And I'm sure it's not been that simple.
It is not. But I will tell you something that we do in my house that may help somebody. So, because bad things happen, right? Rough things happen. And, I feel like in our culture, you're just supposed to brush yourself off and keep going, right? Rub some dirt on it and just keep going. And I don't think that's fair. And so we kind of, we've had a lot of death in our family and a lot of things. And, we've looked around at other cultures and say like the Jewish culture, they have 7 days, right? They sit Shiva, they get to grieve. And I thought, oh my gosh, we don't. So we are going to allow ourselves time. So we have pity parties in our house. So if something, Dave, if you had a really bad day or something bad happens, we set a timer, 5 or 10 minutes. Seems like a short time, but you're allowed to jump up and down and scream and yell and cry and moan about that thing and just say it over and over and all the things like you were too. And it's incredible. Sometimes you don't even need that much time because you get it out. We need to get it out. And then you can move on. But, because we shove everything, right? And it just stays in there. And I think it stifles us. And so we allow each other to have that time. But then once the timer's over, you're done. You can't live in it.
That's it.
Sorry.
No more pity party.
No. Now maybe tomorrow you need another one. We can handle that. But for now, it's over. You're going to move on.
Is it one a day? You can't have 2 in the day?
You can't have 2. No. Just, Yeah.
So you got your $100 microphone, and then you started the podcast, and that was the Over 50s podcast.
That was actually, so it started as the Sick Mom's Guide. So I had a blog called Chronically Positive Mom, and that was the podcast in the beginning. So it was for moms with chronic illness because that's what I knew, right? But then I would introduce myself as, hey, I'm Jen Hardy. I have 7 children and multiple chronic illnesses. I mean, I did that for 5 years. And finally, I thought, I listened to someone else who had a depressing topic and I thought, oh, that's awful. That's her introduction. I thought, oh God, that's my introduction. I need to change it. And so I looked around and said, who is an underserved group where we can have fun, right? We need to have fun. I looked around and it was women over 50. And my mom said, Dave, that glitter is the herpes of the craft world because it never goes away. Well, it's true.
Love
And,
that.
you know, wrinkles don't go away. So if I put glitter at the wrinkles, people notice the glitter. So instead of
Yeah.
being the old lady out in the creator world, I'm the glittery lady. And I much prefer glittery lady. I'll represent people of a certain age, but I don't like being called the old lady. So I like the glitter.
I love your glitter microphone. I think that's
Oh, thank you.
fantastic.
It's
That's-
a lot. It is a lot.
So that started to garnish attention and started to build up in popularity.
It did. And I left all the sick mom things on there because as we age, we deal with illness, right? There was a lot of different things we had talked about that did apply. So I left those. We're about to hit 200 episodes now. But yeah, it really, the rebranding really hit a nerve with a lot of people. And so they started tuning in. And, it's another thing where, good enough is the new perfect and I just do it. And there's so many people that talk about how perfect and this and that. And it's not, Dave. It's not at all. But people tune in anyway. So, it's real. It is real. I will give you that.
I love one of your topics, which, and you said it on another podcast that I saw, is you talk about menopause and you talk about how no one educates you as to what menopause is. They teach you about puberty and what we do in school and how we learn that. But when, different phases in our life, there's no one to teach us these other things. And for women, it's menopause, and for men, it's testosterone depletion and stuff like that. But you're giving the message and giving the education.
We did. We called it The Talk over 2 episodes because, the woman, and I don't know if you heard this, the woman that lived in the house before me, she was going through menopause and they put her in an institution because they thought she was losing her cotton picking mind. And then they realized, oh, it's just menopause, and brought her home. And when I heard that story, that's when I realized, oh no, we need to start talking about this. So I brought somebody on. She talked about the 36 symptoms of menopause. Somebody else told me there's over 100. I don't know, but the 36 main ones. And over the course of 2 episodes, we just have an honest talk about it because, it's important. And I think men need to know what women are going through too, right? So men can tune in and they can listen and think, is this just my wife? Is this normal? Because we don't talk out loud about these things,
I think there's a whole spot. So my wife's not going through menopause yet, but she's over 40, so the clock's ticking. And I'd love to be able to know what to expect, what signs to look out for, and what I can do to not just be there and be that guy, but to be empathetic and to be understanding and to be able to say, oh, I get it. I get what you're going through. Just because I've heard it, I can't feel and understand, but I've been told this is the best way.
You know what we're going to do, Dave? I'm going to do an episode for the husbands. That's what we're going to do.
Let's love
do that. Maybe you and I will talk together. We need to talk to we'll talk to some people pre and talk to maybe a man post and talk about all the things. Maybe my husband, because boy, he'll be honest. There was a lot, there was a lot, to go through. There was. And I think men need to know. It's like, Martha Stewart was on the cover of Sports Illustrated recently, over 80, and she looked like she was 16 because she was so airbrushed. And I think it's not fair for other women because then their husbands look at them and they go, oh God, why do you look like that? Martha Stewart's over 80. She looks like, no, she does not. She does not. Even post-surgery, she does not. It's airbrushing. And, so I think having these honest conversations is so important just for everyone's peace of mind, Yeah.
Yes. And to be honest, I'm guaranteed that 9 out of 10 men that you speak to, and they see these women over 80 or whatever age that they are, and they've either had work done or they've been airbrushed. They don't want a fake person who goes through all that. They just want someone who's real and genuine, and they love you for who you are, and they age together with you. So from my perspective, I guess. Well,
actually, I did a whole month of interviews with men to find the answer to that question. Do men still find us attractive over a certain age? So I interviewed 4 different men, 1 a week, and they all said what you said. We love our wives. We would not trade them for, and some men do trade them for someone younger. That's a different person. But in general, no, men are very happy with their wives. And the natural thing, like you were saying, they just, because we all have insecurities about what's happening as we get older, men and women. And I think if you
Yes.
get to grow old together, you can kind of, build each other up through it and, and feel better about each other and yourself as you have a partner through it. It does help.
I totally agree. I'm the same. Totally love my wife. I told my wife, I said, if you were to die tomorrow, I'm done. Nothing more. I'm happy. I've had my wife, and that's it for me. So
that's what I told my husband. Yeah, there's no way I'm starting again. Oh my goodness.
Too much hard work.
No, that dating pool out there. No.
Oh, yeah, I'm too old for that. I couldn't go through all that now. So it's all different. It's just not me.
It's a lot. Yeah.
So the podcast is starting to be a success, and then someone says to you, you should get yourself on video, and then you transition it over to YouTube?
They did. Everybody kept saying, oh, you got to put your podcast on YouTube. And I said, I am a 56-year-old woman. Nobody wants to see me on YouTube. And they're like, just try it. And so I thought, okay, I will try it. So I interviewed a woman, Judge Stephanie Boyd, beautiful woman, inside and out. I love her. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do this video thing, I'm going to do it. I've always wanted to do shower thoughts in the shower, very dressed, modestly. Always have to say that out loud. But why do we drive in a parkway, park on a driveway kind of a thing? And which is not on the front of my channel. I need to put them back on there, but I've done 1,000 of them. So I batched out 100 and I put 3 up a day and I put that video up and I was monetized in 3 weeks. I had 250,000 views my first month. And
wow.
I thought, well, this may work. And the people that were watching said, we're men and we're not over 50. So this whole fabulous over 50 thing, you need to change the name. And as a podcaster, we don't get feedback, right? So I was thinking, oh, I got feedback. People have an opinion. I will change the name. And so I changed it to the Jen Hardy Show, thinking, how far is this going to go, really? And I gave myself a goal. I said, on my birthday next year, I want to get 100,000 subscribers. I want that play button. And so, I change it. And then I have the podcast, I changed to Voices of Justice. So, because then now we interview judges, lawyers, legislators, and some ex-convicts that are doing really cool things. And can I tell you, I hit my goal 2 weeks before my birthday.
I'm in awe. Honestly, you nailed it.
And I got to, and I told you I wanted to unbox it. Okay, so it's here. It's here. I'm unboxing it live tonight. But this came today. And it's killing me to not unbox it. It is killing me, but it will be here. It will be here. Yes.
I'm so jealous. One day I'll have one of those, Jen. I know I will.
Absolutely will. Look at your show. It's beautiful. You've got an incredible show. I love it. Yeah.
So Voices of Justice, what made you go into the kind of criminal legal world? Because from your background, and maybe I missed it doesn't say anything about law. Was it just fascination, or? There
was no law. So long story short, we were fostering a child. We believed we were going to adopt him. And so I was watching court because foster parents have no say in court here in the US. And so I wanted to know exactly what I could do to make sure that he stayed in our home. And that did not happen, unfortunately, but it didn't have anything to do with court. But that's how I started watching court. So I watched court for 6 months, found this judge, loved her, did this interview. Everyone loved it. And I thought, I wonder if I can interview another judge. And I did. And then that was it. It just took off. And, I've only interviewed 5 of them, but every one of my judges comes back at least once. And I was talking to an attorney today and he said, Jen, I've asked 40 judges to come on my show and none of them will. I don't know what it is about wearing glitter and sequins and just letting them ramble on. But I do, I ask a question and they can talk for 20 minutes if they want to, and they do. And so, but that's where the meat is, right? If you ask someone a question and let them talk, you never know what you're going to hear. And so that's what we do over there. Yeah.
What's the best story? What's the pinnacle that you've heard, either from a judge or a convict? Or
one of the judges is a judge because he was shot in the eye at 13 with a pellet gun, and blinded in that eye. And all his parents wanted was an apology. And not only would the family not apologize of the child who shot him, they fought with them and they said, now we're getting an attorney. And the attorney was so nice to him and the judge was so nice. He decided one day he was going to do those things, and he did. And he became
Wow.
the first African American judge in his county, and for 10 years was the only African American man judge in his county. So, I mean, he really had to work hard for what he got, and but he did it. So, his is the best story to me. You know, I mean, they're all good stories, but his is very inspiring.
How did you find the transition from, because editing a podcast is quite different to editing a video. I don't know if you'd had experience in that before,
I did not.
but
It's horrible. They're just horrible. They really are. Everything I've edited for the last year is god awful. I had someone do one. She did a fair job. And I now have an intern who is a gift from God. My first really professionally looking edited video in the whole time I've done this will come out next week. And I'm interviewing a gentleman that was an investigative reporter for CBS and ABC, our major networks here in the US. And he's doing a show that's professionally edited by people that worked at the networks. And then I'm interviewing him about that show, and they're coming out simultaneously. And I have to say, my show looks as good as his. For the first time ever. I'm really horrible at that job. Yes. So,
you've also got a book as well.
well,
And you wrote this book in 2
I have
weeks.
5. Yeah. So first 4 books, they're fine. But this last one, yeah, it was, I got a little nervy, Dave. I'm not going to lie. Somebody said, you do all this YouTube stuff. You should write a book. And I said, okay, I will. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to publish it in 2 weeks because Christmas was coming. It needed to come out. And so I reached out to 12 YouTubers and media company owners, and I said, I'm publishing a best-selling book. You have 2 days to contribute. Send me something. And they all did. And then we stayed number 1 for 31 days on Amazon. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
Everything you touch seems to turn to gold from what you're doing.
Well, okay. This year, it's been 11 or 12, whatever, years in the making. It's, 11. Yeah. So this year it is, I know somebody told me I was an alien because they're like, you can't do a book in 2 weeks, but I'll tell you the secret is, no editor will touch editing a book in 2 weeks, and you can't read it yourself because you know what you meant, but you don't see what you actually wrote. So what I did was I read the audiobook. Because if you read it out loud, so as I was reading the audiobook, I was making the changes, and then I had the audiobook.
You say 11, 12 years in the making, you've accomplished this year some amazing milestones. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out and just looking at this and finding the sheer amount of time and hard work that goes into it as to how they can get to where you are today?
Okay. Well, number 1, it's not about the money if you're doing something in the creator space, unless it's to point to your business. You just have to do it because it's passion. If it's not a passion and you want those dollars, quit and get a job because it's not going to be it this year. Number 1, because, oh my goodness, I can't tell you the stories. And just do the things you love to do, right? Talk about the things that you know and you love and share them honestly and passionately with the world. And put in your time. You got to put in the time, though. That's the thing, And I think, people that try to cheat the process and step over other people and do all that, don't do those things. Yeah, don't do that. Just be nice. There's not enough nice people out there.
So what's Gen Con coming up in the future? This year has been so far amazing. You got your 100,000. What's next?
So we are putting on a creator conference next year that will culminate in our awards. It is the only women-run creator conference in the US, which doesn't matter here or there. It's for men and women. But it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be completely different than any conference. It's going to be only about 500 people. You have to be a creator for 3 years to come. And we're just going to kind of flip the idea of conference on its head. And also, since I live on an island, you can stay in a hotel at an island. So you can write off something and actually, get something out of it. And then we are doing something called Epic Launch, my new company called Epic Wave, because I'm an 80s girl and everything's epic. We are going to launch YouTube channels in 4 hours. We can launch your channel. And we're going to get people going because, as we talked about before, people, they want to do the things and they get hung up on the details. We're just going to get them out there and get them rocking. And because I wrote the book, and it seems to go well. I've done a boot camp based on the book, and everybody that's gone through it that's given me feedback has doubled their views. And I can't promise that, but that's what's happened. And so that's actually turning into a video course that people can take. So there's the book and then the course, and then I do consulting and I'll start your channel. So we have this whole thing, and then we'll lead into the conference. So,
I
yeah.
will add into that to help that if any of those people do the 4-hour YouTube, give me their name and I will put them on this show, because this show is all creators and building up everyone. So please send them my way. I will give them a spot to promote themselves in their new channel.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. And you've got to come on my show live with me, and we'll promote your channel too. I think that'd be fun.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Jen, I can't say how much of a privilege and pleasure it's been talking to you. You are an inspiration. You are amazing. And I very much hope we keep talking in the future. Thank you so much.
We absolutely will. And thank you. This has been an honor to be here. I love your show. It's amazing.
Thank you. For any of Jen's links, details, we'll put them. Where do you want them? Do you want them here or here or here or here, Jen?
There is good. JenHardy.net for all the things. Make it easy.
Awesome. We'll be back right after these messages.
Thank you for checking out Forecast, my 9/11 historical fiction novel. I remain deeply moved to this day by 9/11, by the heroism and the bravery and the valiance demonstrated by so many, from the 343 FDNY firefighters to the 23 NYPD police officers and the 37 Port Authority workers, to all the brave souls aboard United Flight 93, and everyone who died that day and since due to contaminants, carcinogens, cancers. For myself, I really wanted to structure a novel that would see 9/11 actually prevented. Though we can't go back in time and undo such a horrific tragedy, we can relive it and we can prevent it. My slogan for this book is 9/11, always remember, never allow. A weatherman living in Jersey City across the Hudson from Manhattan is struck by lightning. He's a weatherman, so of course he is struck by lightning. After that, he's able to receive visual imagery slingshot around the sun from the future of future atrocities. He just needs to be near someone who's going to commit said atrocity. He starts getting flashes, he starts getting visions, he gets nosebleeds. He ends up tailing Muhammad Atta, who is the lead hijacker of 9/11. All of the imagery that we have seen over and over for 25 years, Roland Bishop sees in his head. He understands what's going to happen. He's able to avert 9/11. I know that's a massive spoiler, but how he goes about it is an Inception mindbender, very worthy of your read. I hope you'll check out Forecast and Journey with Roland and see how precisely he's able to completely avert 9/11. The trick is, the lightning never left his body. When that happens, all kinds of craziness abounds and all kinds of new abilities are discovered. Journey with Roland in my best-selling 9/11 historical fiction thriller, Forecast. Thank you for your support.
My next guest is what happens when talent, drive, and pure creative energy collide. She's a singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, voiceover artist, and let's be honest, she's probably got more talent before breakfast than most of us have all week. You might recognize her as the youngest member of the girl group Boys World, where she helped redefine modern pop with empowering tracks and a massive online following. But now she's breaking out on her own, releasing solo music that's raw, soulful, and undeniably her. Her debut single, Breaking Bad, dropped earlier this year, and it's not just a song, it's a statement. She's here and she's independent, and she's just getting started. Please welcome to the show, Makhyli.
That intro for my memoir, that was incredible.
I will send it you afterwards, and you can have it whenever you walk into a room, and you can just have that play.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. It's what, Saturday afternoon there?
It is. It's a good day.
Yeah. What's a Saturday like for Makhyli? Is it a big party night or?
Well, no. Oh my gosh, far from it. I'm out and I'm actually in the parking lot because I'm filming my second music video, like right now. But I know, it's crazy. The
That's
song
cool.
is called Feng Shui. I haven't told anybody about it yet. But it's a really exciting one. It's basically, I'll just give you a little bit of a taste right now, but feng shui, it's basically just like not letting anyone mess with your energy, just being like, look, you're trying to get in my way, but I'm not gonna have it, and I'm gonna keep going, and you're gonna see me when I'm at the top. that's really what it's about. So I'm excited.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
Thank
Let's
you.
talk about how it all started, Makhyli. Because for
Yeah.
you, it was you were 15 and you were doing voiceovers for Barbie and PBS, and you were also co-writing a book with your mother as well. What was that all about?
Oh my gosh. So I was a very, very busy kid. I was like one of those kids who I was an overachiever. It was very weird. My mom was like, "You can chill, like you can literally be a kid and you can go like play dolls if you want." And I was like, "No, I'm getting every single piece of homework in, and I'm gonna go do a show at the theater 7 days a week." Like it was ridiculous. I love that I was like that. I do think I missed out on a lot growing up, but like I wanted to, and like that's something I chose. So yeah, my child was really funny. I did a lot of like online school, and then I was like, you know what? This school, and I went to like a racist school, and so I was like really back and forth a lot. And I kind of did things my own way, and luckily I had a mom that supported me through it all. Shout out to Eddie.
That must have been really hard, though, doing all of those things at 15, and then, people around you who are not doing those things and possibly don't understand, and they see you shining in various ways and get jealous.
Oh, for sure. And also I'm a weirdo, man. Like, I have a hard time relating to people, especially socially, and especially at that age too. I feel like we're all so awkward, and I feel like a lot of kids are trying to fit in. And I was really repulsed by like middle schoolers, weirdly. And so I never really found my tribe, and I think that's where a lot of my creativity comes in and why I'm so attached to music, because I feel like it's my one of my only outlets.
Well, you're showing them now. What was the dream back then? Because you were doing so many different things. Was it music all the way, or did you think you were going to take a different path?
Yeah, it's always been the same dream, just going through different funnels. Like, it's always been music. But when I was younger, I was like, okay, I thought that I was gonna be like Hannah Montana, Demi Lovato. Like, I thought I was gonna be on Disney and use acting to become a singer. And
Yeah.
it happened the other way. I was like in a girl group first, which I did not even think about. That was not on my trajectory. And I thought I had my whole life planned out, but it'll throw you a curveball for sure.
I mean, that's a great segue because you were 16 when you were doing Boys World. That's when that all started. So that must
Yeah.
have been absolutely crazy for you at that age. I can't even remember what I was doing at 16 years old.
I know, it's so strange. I think back and I'm like, whoa, like I guess that is a big deal. Because in the moment I was just living it and I just went day by day, but I'm like, I still feel 16. Like right now, like you cannot tell me that I'm not 16 in my head. But, I'm really proud of what I did. We went on tour, went to China, like music videos, the whole nine yards. And it was a dream, I would say. And I think now that I'm independent, it's like a whole completely 180 different experience. But it's so rewarding and I honestly wouldn't trade it for anything.
How did you stay grounded at 16 years old with all of this attention, traveling around, going to various countries, standing on stage with people chanting? How do you stay grounded at that age with that?
Well, I think I just felt very lucky. And I just was like, wow, like I get to do this and this is so many people's dreams. And also I'm a very spiritual person, honestly. I feel like that's the only reason I'm not losing it every day. Like I'm a very off the handle, like emotionally up and down, like kind of unstable person. So I really don't know the grace of God. My mom for sure, because she was the house mom as well until I was 18. So she like took us everywhere. She was the one driving us to like studio sessions and everything. And so whenever I would have mental breakdowns, I would just go to her room and cry. So I really need her.
Wow. And were you going, because when any band starts, they kind of have to do the touring of high schools and various things where you go on stage. Were you doing that at the same time? Because it's 16 going on to other high schools and performing. That must have been really scary.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I do feel like sometimes that age can be a little judgmental. Like, oh my gosh, it was intense. I feel like the high schoolers, we were trying so much harder to impress than like the college students. Um, and especially because I kind of got lucky because I was like Oh my gosh, if I was at my own high school, I would be so scared. Like I would not go onto the stage. Luckily, I was online school, so like no one I knew saw me. But yeah, it was a really, really interesting experience doing that. We did a couple of shows. We did some shows with Hollister. We did some shows like with the radio and things. But I think with our pure energy and like our good intent, we did turn them into fans and they didn't hate us. So I'm proud of that.
And would you say your mum's your biggest fan?
Yes. But I also say she keeps me the most in line. And I'm so grateful that she's not just, yes, yes, this is great, this is amazing. Like I remember before Boys World, I was in like an actual band. So I was like the lead singer, and then there were like a bunch of other people playing instruments. Um, and it was like this school academy, and I was the only black girl, and they all knew each other. And oh my, I do not think they liked me at all. And I was so shy and I didn't talk. So I would only sing and like once the cameras cut and once we got off the stage, I would not talk. And so I remember we really had the worst social anxiety still. And so my mom, I was singing I Feel Good, James Brown. Oh my God. Literally gave it like, it was literally like this, I feel good. You know that I would not, like, no performance, singing at 2 decibels. And she was like, absolutely not. Like, if you do that again, I'm taking you out of this music school. Like, that was horrible. Like, I'm wasting my money every week. No, you're not going to do that. And eventually I did get taken out of that music. He's like, oh, sorry.
Oh.
But no, she's honest with me. But she also is the one that like, she cheers for me on the sidelines too. Hmm.
You need that. You've got to have that person in your corner, keep prompting you on and keep you grounded and keep saying, that's rubbish. You need to do this. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can just get in your own head and go the wrong way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And also, my boyfriend who's my producer, he does the same thing. Like, he's very nonchalant. So like I know he produced all the songs and all the songs I'm gonna do. So like if I write a verse on a track and it's not good, like I can tell immediately because he's like not like the most expressive person. But also if I do something good and he has like a reaction, I'm like, okay, we got something.
Then the group disbanded. You guys
Yeah.
stopped. And now you've decided to go out on your own with your new, your last single was Breaking Bad. How did that all come about?
Yeah. I feel like within the group, I had my own inner turmoil that I was going through a lot just because as a person and my personality, I feel like it's hard for me to get along and just to exist in a group space. Like I'm a type of person who I need a lot of alone time, I need a lot of recharging, and I didn't know that. Like I got scouted at 15, moved to LA 14, was in the group and signed the line by 16. So I feel like there's a big part of me that didn't know what I needed in life, that didn't know what type of person I was, whether that was in friendship, whether that was in like the workday. And so I think it took such a toll on me mentally. And just the idea of always having to, show up for the rest of the girls and for the fans while I internally was like, I'm not quite fitting, even though the girls were wonderful. I think that was really what drove my music, and that was what I needed to get out and to express. Of course I knew like during the group I wasn't going to release that music, but I did know that there was going to be a time, and I feel like now is that time, and that's why I am so grateful for this creative and emotional outlet that I have now. And I'm just really lucky that I get to do it and that I still have people supporting me and they're willing to hear me out.
What inspired Breaking Bad? Where did the inspiration for that? Was it the TV show or?
I definitely wanted to give that vibe because I feel like it represents just this like independence and this full on unapologetic side of me that I feel like I didn't really show and I didn't really get to show before. And that song, actually it's a funny story. It's the first song that I ever recorded ever with Robbie, my producer, also my boyfriend, because I was like for probably like a good year and a half. He has a whole studio in his house, like in his room, and I was there every weekend. My mom was like, like, why aren't you making any music? It just makes sense. Like, he's a producer, like, you're a singer, like, why not make any music? And I was like, no, mom, like, that's so awkward. Like, please, like, I cannot sing in front of him. I wouldn't sing in front of him for like until like now. And so, I look through his beats, and like, I'm very lucky. I get like first pick on all the beats. I was like, oh, dang, this beat is so good. Like, I have to do something. And I knew that it was special. But I got on the track and I was like, you know what? Just don't listen to me. I'm just gonna like freestyle. I'm just gonna say whatever I want to, and you're not gonna judge me. Don't say anything, and we're gonna put it out, okay? Deal? Deal. And so that's basically what it was. I was like, I just need to get my feet wet. And it's so different from doing it in the group with like huge vocal producers, biggest songwriters. For some reason, it just being me was like so scary. But I feel like what I came up with was just so raw. I didn't overthink it. It was so honest. And honestly, I'm the kind of person that says things that I probably shouldn't. Like when I was like, I'll have it. I wanted castrated, jump on it. Like I probably shouldn't have said that. But like I did, and it feels good.
I love. I've seen the videos you've posted where you've been making the music videos for either Breaking Bad or anything, and I love. You are having so much fun when you are doing them, and you can tell, and I think that comes across.
You. I love it. It's like my favorite thing because literally my team is this small right now. It's my mom, Robbie, me, and that one day I had my cousin to get like behind the scenes. So it's just like me in this huge exaggerated world. Like as soon as I get to set, you can see this when I also was in the girl group. Like I just turn into a different person. And sometimes I'm so over dramatic and I look back at the footage and I'm like, who let me do that? Like what the heck? But it's the most fun. Like I feel like I'm always just playing a different character and I'm just on the loose. I love it.
So what's coming up next for you, Makhyli? What can we expect? You've got the new single that you're working on now for the music video.
Yes, I do. I also just had my first ever movie premiere. I was in this film called Makhyli Homecoming Dweeb. It was like this really cool, like high school coming of age movie. That was really cool. Oh my gosh, I'm going to Hawaii soon in like a couple days. I know, I'm finally getting a vacation, which is really cool. But no, my days are very, very busy, like because I'm also doing acting at the same time, which is like rare. I feel like usually people do one or the other.
Yep.
But no, I'm really happy with where I'm at. Of course, keep streaming Breaking Bad everywhere. I'm posting a lot of YouTube videos. Oh my gosh. In a few days, I'm also going to be posting a completely other reimagined video of Breaking Bad, but it's going to be the lyric video, but it has a completely different storyline, plot, shooting, and it's really cool. So I'm excited for people to see that cuz I'm a person that's like if I like something, if I believe in it, I'm going to beat it to the ground until death, I'm going to keep making things. I'm going to keep pushing it until everyone sees it. So that's what I'm doing.
Makhyli, you are a legend. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Now introducing my first ever single and solo debut, Breaking Bad. This music video is really me taking risks and it's very cutting edge. We got some choreo and we got some crime. I hope you enjoy it.
What do you want? I got Louis V on. And what do you do? Ain't tryna listen to you. And fuck what you say. I'm gonna do it my way. Don't know what you thought. Wait a minute, I just drunk text my mom. Call me Breaking Bad, the way we cooking up. I wanna Breaking Bad, don't need to show me love. I'ma tell you about all the things I like, all the things I like. Call me Breaking Bad, the way we cooking up. I wanna Breaking Bad, don't need to show me love. So pick up, baby, get on my good side, my good, get on my good. I'll have it, I want it, castrated, jump on it. I'll have it, I want it, castrated, jump on it. Call me Bugs Bunny with the carrots in the hood. Stepping in the Barbie diamonds on my pinky toe. Always stepping at me, it don't matter where I go. Bitch don't need an apron, pizzeria with the dough. First things first, I'ma lick me up and down this side. Make my way to the end zone, then forget my benzo. Tryna get out with a friend zone, and even if she like the pencil. Call me Breaking Bad, the way we cooking up. I wanna Breaking Bad, don't need to show me love. I'ma tell you about all the things I like, all the things I like. Call me Breaking Bad, the way we cooking up. I wanna Breaking Bad, don't need to show me love. So pick up, baby, get on my good side, my good, get on my good.
I can't help it, I'm trying to manage, gonna make some damage. It's my bad habit and he tried to grab it, slap it and tap it. So I pulled the trigger on him, pulled the trigger on him. la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Oh, the devil lives below, and he tells me where to go.